"Can I clean your mansion for a plate of food?" The black girl begged in till the billionaire sit was a cloudy Thursday afternoon, when Amina stood outside the towering iron gates of the largest house on Oak Ridge Hill. She was only 15. Thin from weeks of eating almost nothing, her shoes falling apart, and her oversized hoodie barely hiding the trembling in her arms. The gate buzzed with silence. No sound came from inside the mansion, but she waited. This house was different. It was the grandest in the neighborhood, with wide marble steps, tall white columns, and glass windows that sparkled even under gray skies. It was owned by Mr. Gregory Hartwell, a billionaire known more for his business empire than his kindness. Most people only saw him on magazine covers or the news. No one imagined he'd ever speak to a girl like Amina, not even Amina herself. She wasn't supposed to be here. But hunger changes everything. For days, she had wandered the streets of the city, begging silently. She didn't speak much because people didn't listen. She had learned that. But today, something inside her cracked. Maybe it was the ache in her stomach, or the fact that she hadn't eaten for 2 full days. Maybe it was the sound of people laughing inside restaurants she passed. Or maybe it was the memory of her mother's voice saying, "Never be too proud to survive, baby." Her mother had died a year ago. Before she died, she worked as a janitor in a hospital, scrubbing floors and lifting trash bags twice her size just to keep food on their table. Amina had tried to help, but she was only in 8th grade when her mother got sick. After her passing, Amina was sent to an aunt who didn't want her. The aunt locked up food, yelled constantly, and eventually kicked her out. Now she was here, standing before a mansion she could never imagine entering. Clutching the cold bars of the gate as if holding on to her last hope, a camera above her buzzed. "To life? State your business," said a voice, crisp and impatient. Amina raised her face to the camera. Her lips trembled, but she forced the words out. "Can I clean your mansion for a plate of food?" she asked. There was silence. She stared into the lens, hoping someone heard the honesty in her voice, hoping they'd care. She waited. Seconds. Felt like minutes, and the speaker clicked off. No response. She sighed and turned to leave, already planning to search the dumpsters behind the shopping plaza. But the gate buzzed again and then, surprisingly, it opened. She paused. Did she? Imagine that, but the gate was moving. Slowly, the grand entrance to this other world opened up to a girl with holes in her socks. "Come in," the voice said again, this time softer. Amina stepped inside. The mansion grounds were quiet. The kind of quiet that felt expensive, perfectly. Trimmed hedges lined the stone pathway. She walked slowly, unsure if she was dreaming. Her heartbeat thudded in her ears as she approached the main door. A tall woman in a black suit opened it before she knocked. The woman looked her up and down without a word, then motioned her in. The inside was like a movie crystal chandeliers, marble floors, walls decorated with paintings she couldn't name. Her breath caught in her throat. "This way," the woman said, leading her to a small room off the main hall. It looked like a service area place where delivery people might wait. A tray sat on the table with a sandwich, a bowl of fruit, and a bottle of water. "You can eat first," the woman said. Amina hesitated. It could be a trick, but her stomach overruled her doubt. She sat down and devoured the sandwich in 5 bites, with ham and cheese, simple but heavenly. She drank the water like she hadn't tasted anything so clean in her life. The woman watched her, arms folded. Her expression was unreadable. When Amina finished, the woman handed her a pair of gloves and a rag. "You want to clean? Start with." The foyer. Amina nodded, grateful. She worked silently, wiping down surfaces, sweeping, scrubbing corners. Hours passed. Her arms ached, her knees burned, but she didn't stop. No one had told her to do the windows, but she did them too. Wanted to prove herself. To earn that sandwich, in a distant upstairs room, Gregory Hartwell was on a conference call when one of the security staff knocked. "Sir, there's something you might want to see." He frowned. "Is it urgent? Unusual, sir?" The girl showed. "Up at the gate, asking to clean for food?" "She's downstairs." That caught his attention. Gregory ended the call early and made his way down. He didn't usually deal with guests or strangers, but something about the report bothered him. Maybe because he once knew what hunger felt like too, long before the world knew his name. When he reached the main hall, he saw her, small girl in torn jeans, wiping the floor with quiet determination. Her sleeves were rolled up, revealing arms too thin for her age. Sweat glistened on her forehead. She was focused, not even aware someone was watching. "Who let her in?" he asked the woman beside him. "I did, sir. She asked for food in exchange for cleaning, and you gave her food." "Yes, she worked hard. Didn't complain once." Gregory stood silently for a moment, then he walked toward Amina. She noticed the shoes' first polished Italian leather. Then she looked up. Tall man, sharp suit. Cold eyes that didn't seem cruel, just ... hard. "Hello," he said. Amina stood up quickly. "I'm sorry, was just cleaning. I didn't mean it's fine," he said, raising a hand. "What's your name?" "Amina," she whispered. "Live around here?" She hesitated, then shook her head. "I don't really live anywhere." He nodded slowly. "You asked to clean for a plate of food? That's unusual." "I just didn't know what else to do," she said honestly. "I'm not trying to steal anything. Just wanted to earn something to eat." Gregory studied her. Most people lied. She didn't seem like she was lying. Her eyes held the kind of honesty you don't see much anymore. "Where are your parents?" he asked. "My mom passed last year. I don't have anyone now." He didn't press further. He could see she was at her limit. "You want to come back tomorrow?" he asked. She blinked, unsure if she heard him right. "You can help clean again. And eat," he said. She nodded slowly at first, then faster. "Yes, I can come back." "Good. Show up at 9 a.m. sharp." He turned and walked away, leaving her stunned. Amina returned the next day, and the next. For weeks, she came at 9 a.m., cleaned everything she was told to, ate whatever food they gave her, and never once asked for more. She never touched anything that wasn't hers. She never complained. And slowly, the staff began to like her. The housekeeper, Mrs. Donnelly, taught her how to polish the silver. The chef started adding cookies to her lunch plate.
The gardener
Let her sit outside with him during breaks. But the most unexpected change came from Gregory Hartwell himself. He began watching from a distance. Then one day he asked her what school she had attended. "Madison Middle," she said. "Before. Everything ... before my mom got sick." "You like school?" "I love school," she said. "Math and science. And art too. But mostly science." He didn't say anything right then. But that night he made a call. A week later, Amina arrived as usual, but something was different. The staff looked excited. Mrs. Donnelly handed her a note when she came in. "Mr. Hartwell wants to see you in his office." Amina's heart pounded. She hadn't done anything wrong, had she? She walked into his study nervously. Gregory looked up from his laptop. "Sit," he said, pointing to the chair across from him. She sat, clutching the sides of the seat. "You like school," he said. Double quotes. "Yes, sir. You haven't been in a while." "No, sir." "Well, that's about to change." He handed her a paper. It was an enrollment form for one of the best private schools in the city. "What is this?" She whispered. "You're going back to school, Amina? Starting Monday? Uniforms, books, everything's covered. You'll have a place to stay, tutors if you need them, and food. Plenty of food." She stared at him, unable to speak. "I've arranged for you to stay in the guest house out back. For now, it's yours. If you do well in school, we'll talk about something more permanent." Her lips trembled. "Why?" He didn't answer right away. "Because someone once gave me a chance when I was hungry," he said quietly. "It's your turn now." Tears slipped down her cheeks, and for the first time in a long time, she let herself cry. Not from pain, but from hope. Years later, at her college graduation, Amina stood on stage delivering the valedictorian speech. She had graduated top of her class with honors in biochemistry. In the front row, Gregory Hartwell sat watching. He was older now, with more gray in his hair, but when she looked at him, He smiled the same small smile he always did. When she finished her speech, the crowd applauded. But she walked off stage straight to him. "I couldn't have done this without you," she whispered. He shook his head. "You did the work. Just open the gate."